அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். இந்த புத்தக வெளியீட்டு விழா வந்து சிறப்பிக்க வந்த சிறப்பு விருந்தினர்கள் மற்றும் மீடியா நண்பர்களுக்கு நான் நன்றியை தெரிவிச்சுக்கிறேன். ஒரு நல்ல கதை, அதுக்கேற்ற திரைக்கதை இருந்தால் மட்டும்தான் ஒரு சினிமா பிளாக் பஸ்டர் ஆக முடியும்னு நம்பிக்கையோட இன்றைக்கி சிஸ்ட்ரி பப்ளிஷர்ஸ் வந்து ரெடி டு ஷூட் ஹிடன் அஜெண்டாஸுங்கிற ஒரு புத்தகத்தை இங்கே ரிலீஸ் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. இது எழுத்தாளர்களுக்கும் ரைட்டர்ஸ், ஸ்க்ரீன் ரைட்டர்ஸ் எல்லாருக்குமே இன்றைக்கி வந்து இது மிகப்பெரிய ஒரு ஊக்குவிக்கக்கூடிய விஷயம். ஸோ அனார் என்டர்டெயின்மெண்ட் அண்ட் சிஸ்ட்ரி பப்ளிஷர்ஸ் யங்ஸ்டர்ஸ், ரைட்டர்ஸ், ஸ்க்ரீன் ரைட்டர்ஸை வந்து வரவேற்க காத்துட்ருக்கு. தென் இந்த இடத்துல நான் ஒரே ஒரு விஷயம் ஷேர் பண்ண விரும்புகிறேன். கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு 15 இயர்ஸாக நான் அப்சர்வ் பண்ணிகிட்ருக்கேன். இன்றைக்கி தமிழ் சினிமாவோட ஹிட் ரேஷியோ அப்படின்னு பார்த்தா 7 to 8% தான் ஹிட் ரேஷியோ. அதாவது ஒரு 200 படம், 225 படம் ரிலீஸ் ஆனால் 15-16 படம் தான் பிளாக் பஸ்டர் ஃபிலிம்ஸ். இதோட முதல் காரணம் என்ன? நீங்கள் உள்ளே போய் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா கதை கரெக்டாக இருக்கணும், அதுக்கேற்ற திரைக்கதை கரெக்டாக இருக்கணும். இது ரெண்டும் வீக்காக இருக்கும்போது ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக அந்த படம் வந்து ஆவரேஜ் அண்ட் பிலோ ஆவரேஜ் ஆகுது. இது என் மனசுக்குள்ளே இருந்தது. இன்றைக்கி சிவா சார் வந்திருக்காரு, தனவிஜயன் சார் வந்திருக்காங்க. அதாவது ப்ரொடியூசர் கவுன்சிலில் இன்றைக்கி ஒரு டீம் மாதிரி போட்டு ஃபார் ஸ்டோரிஸ் அட்லீஸ்ட், ஏன்னா நிறைய நியூ ப்ரொடியூசர்ஸ் வராங்க. அவங்களுக்கு வந்து அட்லீஸ்ட் அந்த கதைகளை மட்டும் அவங்க வந்து கரெக்ட் பண்ணி அவங்கள கைட் பண்ணி கொடுத்தாங்கன்னா இந்த 7 to 8ங்கிறது ஒரு 20% ஆகிறதுக்கான சான்ஸ் இருக்குது. ஏன்னா பிகாஸ் இன்றைக்கி ப்ரொடியூசர்கள்ட்ட இருக்க எல்லா வருத்தமே என்னென்னா ஓடிடி விற்க மாட்டேங்குது, சேட்டலைட் போலங்குது, தியேட்டர் போட்டுவேன். இதுக்கு முக்கிய காரணம் மெயின் கதை. இதில் இந்த இடத்த நீங்கள் கரெக்ட் பண்ணால் தான் நீங்கள் மற்ற இடத்துலையே பண்ண முடியும். ஏன்னா பிகாஸ் யாரையும் ப்ளேம் பண்ணியே யூஸ் இல்லை. இன்னொன்று என்னென்னா, ஒரு வருஷத்துக்கு ஒரு படத்துக்கு 3 கோடின்னு எடுத்துங்க, 3 crores எடுத்துக்கிட்டிங்கன்னா 300 crores, 100 படம், குறைஞ்சது 100 படம் வந்து பிஸ்னஸ் பண்ண முடியாமல் இருக்குது. ஸோ 300 crores வந்து தமிழ் சினிமாவில் வந்து இன்றைக்கி வேஸ்ட் ஆகுது. இது யாருக்கும் தெரியாது. ஏன்னா நிறைய புது தயாரிப்பாளர்கள் வராங்க. அவங்கவுங்க 3 கோடி, 4 கோடி, 5 கோடிக்கு எடுத்துகிட்டு போயிடுறாங்க. பட் உள்ளே வந்து இந்த பிஸ்னஸ் வந்து 300 கோடியிலேருந்து 400 கோடி வந்து தமிழ்நாட்டில் வேஸ்ட் ஆகுது. ஸோ சிவா சார், தனவிஜயன் சார், நீங்கள்லாம் சேர்ந்து ப்ரொடியூசர் கவுன்சிலில் கதைக்குன்னு ஒரு டீம் போட்டு அட்லீஸ்ட் மற்றதெல்லாம் ஓகே, கதைக்காவது இதுக்கு இம்பார்ட்டன்ஸ் கொடுத்து பண்ணிங்கன்னா அந்த 400 கோடிங்கிறது ஒரு 200 கோடி மிச்சம் பண்ணலாம், 300 கோடி மிச்சம் ஆகும். ஏன்னா எல்லோரும் இன்றைக்கி நிறையா புது ப்ரொடியூசருக்கு வந்து என் படம் விற்க மாட்டேங்குது, இது மாதிரி ஒரு இது பேசிக் வந்து நம்ம இந்த விஷயத்தை கொஞ்சம் பண்ணி கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா பெட்டராக இருக்கும். தென் மறுபடியும் வந்திருக்க அனைவருக்கும் நன்றி சொல்லி இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியை தொகுத்து வழங்க ஆண்டலியா ரொம்ப நன்றி. இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியை எல்லா அரேஞ்ச்மெண்ட்ஸும் பண்ண யுவராஜ் அண்ட் டீம் அனைவருக்கும் நன்றி. ப்ரெஸ் பீப்புள், நீங்கள் நல்ல விஷயங்களை கொண்டு போங்க. ஏன்னா பிகாஸ் இது இந்த 300-400 கோடி யாருக்குமே தெரியாது. ஆனால் இந்த ப்ரொடியூசருக்கு வந்து பெயின் ஜாஸ்தியாக இருக்குது. அது என்னென்னா பேசிக் கதை. ஸோ இந்த எழுத்தாளர்கள்லாம் வந்து நம்மளுக்கு நிறையா நல்ல விஷயங்கள்லாம், நிறைய யங்ஸ்டர்ஸ் வரட்டும், நம்ம நிறைய சப்போர்ட் பண்ணுவோம். நம்ம அட்லீஸ்ட் இண்டஸ்ட்ரிக்கு இது ஒரு நல்ல விஷயமா இருக்கும் செய்கிறதுக்கு. தேங்க்யூ, வணக்கம்.
Ideas and the quick turnaround and the number of films that are being turned out, and each is vying with the other for honors. When I look at OTT platforms, I'm just astounded by the brilliance of these young minds, including, of course, our 2 authors today. So I think it's a very, very important occasion, and this is going to be a game changer. So when Prem told me about it, it struck me because you have to, as you know, when you go out there, you have to do a pitch and you have to do a pitch deck, and that's where you don't know what to do because you don't really have a story. You're trying to make it all up, but it requires creativity. It requires, you have to have a different kind of story because there's so much of it there. You can't have more and more of the same. And this takes some doing, and I'm so happy that this is an enterprise. And I can see it's also, normally people, you tend to be possessive about this. In fact, I'm still a little worried, or shall we say, how open-ended this is, how open they are. They're talking about saying, we'll make this film, or anybody wants to make a film with this, make it. And if there's someone here who can write, please come to us, we will help you to publish your book. That's the way it is. That's the way, creativity opens up. That's the way newer ideas come. That's the way the level of storytelling, gets better and better. And so, all power to your writing fingers. Normally, as a person who has a drink in the evenings, I'm fond of saying all power to your elbow because you keep exercising that the most. But in this case, all power to your writing, hand, or your keying in hand. And I'm sure that this will go on, and this will be a success story. I have no doubt about this. This is going to make a difference, and I'm very happy that I'm here associated with this. I've been in the media for about several decades, 30, 35 years. Prem is a very old friend, which is why I suppose that he called me here. And I'm delighted to be in the company of some of the names who were mentioned here, including the legendary Shivaji Ganeshan's son, Ramu Ganeshan, who represented South Indian cinema so iconically and at its best for several decades. So this is indeed a auspicious, a very, very important, creatively charged moment, and all the very, very best to our young writers and to all the others here who I'm going to be part of this team. And I envy the producers out there who are going to find it difficult to choose stories from for a change. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shashi Kumar sir, once again. So ladies and gentlemen, and to all of you gathered here, this is the moment for you to ask your questions. We're going to have 5 minutes of Q&A with the authors. So may I request the authors to kindly come forward. And for those of you who've got questions, this is your moment to shoot them out. We would be taking up at the max of 5 questions, so please do see that you fall into the 5.
Hi guys, Ram Kumar here. He told me this is an adventure thriller genre, your first book. So I'm sure you're going through different genres, and I just heard you told me he worked on Tanaji, which is a good film. I like that film. So I hope there's a history genre also coming up.
Yes. Yes. What you said is your question. The answer to the question. Yes, we will be coming up with it.
Yep.
Totally 6 volumes, 6 genres. One is epic historical volume. It's like for that we need to do a lot more research. It's like so we are taking that slightly as like as the 3rd or 4th volume because that's something as like where we need to spend an intricately long period of time as like to get the stories right. As you know, one small mistake is like in the research or in the data that's presented is going to create a lot of issues for us.
But it'll be historical fiction or pure history?
No, actually what we'll try and do is we will write it in a manner as like see, one thing is that we are trying to keep the audience attention. The more it has to have history, it has to have the essence of the history and the facts and everything, but we would like to keep it as crisp as possible. A shorter version is like where you reach the essence of it quickly rather than make it boring and long. It's like it ending up more like a documentary. So we'll keep that in mind. It's like when you do it, there'll be not too much of any fictional part of it, but we'll dramatize it as it's like, when you are writing the, let's say, the fight scenes or the action scenes or the other scenes which is there, we'll create a lot of dramatization of the whole issue.
Very happy. Best of luck.
Thank you.
In fact, we are working on a book which is interesting blend of history and geopolitics as of now. So hopefully maybe in next 1 year we will have something ready. Yes, ma'am.
You said that.
Not 100, 200.
No, I said, like, the number was dramatized, actually. But yes, this is like, for us, every person we meet, we try our level best to create, so we observe the person, and we take care not to, stare at the person, but we observe the person to an extent. It's like, where we say, like, there is something unique about this person. It can come as a character in the next book or whatever it is. And like, for example, just now when we were talking, one minute. There's one conversation that happened was where I think Balaji mentioned that I can't read Tamil, but I can speak and I can understand Tamil. And my writer is just like, he writes in Tamil only. So the moment he said that, we said, then how do you communicate? So he said that, I explain to him and then he tells me, and then he writes in Tamil, I speak in English. So I said, here is a story. I said, like, this can be another story because this is something which is unique. How do they do it? So then we end up doing a little bit of research, finding out, are these things happening? Who are these people? Go talk to them. So that's what we meant by saying that, every person that we meet is that there is a story behind it, and then we try and do.
So you need only 5 minutes of interaction, and the story is in your head.
But yeah, something like that. Okay, once.
Great.
I'll tell you something very interesting. This happened last Tuesday. Yeah, I was in Bhopal with my in-laws. My father-in-law is about 86. He drives a car with the speed of 30 kilometers per hour. I said, let me drive. I'll go faster. So I drove around, went to the market, came back home, and we were about to hit the lift, and I saw a young guy about 35, 36 coming out of the lift, and you know what he's told me? So my in-laws stay alone. So he said, he's a youngster. He's very useful to me. I said, why? He said, if something happens to me, you guys live in Bombay. Who will lift me from second floor to first floor? Now there was a story. I called Ajit. I was working on a screenplay. I said, chuck this screenplay for 1 week. Let's work on the story. It's been a little more than a week. The story is ready. The framework is ready. It's a beautiful stuff. So,
It's fantastic.
so now another thing, for example, I will tell it. Now I will speak. So his father actually was a spy who was in RAW and was based in Pakistan for almost 5 years, I guess. Working in a spice market, passing on information from Pakistan to India. He is 97, by the way. He lives in Pune. So he had gone to Pune last month, and he said, I was offering a drink to my father, and my father said, so he asked him a question. Who was the friend? Your father's friend. So he said, where is Tiwari? Tiwari was one guy who was stuck in Pakistan. So he said, Tiwari to mar gaya hoga. He said, who said he's dead? Still alive. He thinks his father pretends as if he's got dementia, but he's still an active spy.
Wow.
So we turned around the entire plot, and no, I think I should not disclose much.
No, actually, the crux was that, the question was, I asked him, what happened to your friend? I said, by now he must be dead. So he looked at me and says, like, he's an old man, and every evening he wants his drink, and he's sitting there. When I'm there, I'm the bartender. I have to fix him. So he was sipping it, and then he suddenly put this thing down and he says, who said he's dead? So the way he said it, I was like, I was shaken. And then I turned around and asked him, out of the blue, I asked him this question. I said, if ever you get a chance to go back And if you're 35 years old or 30 years old, will you still go back to Raw and be a spy? So he was silent for a little while, then suddenly looked at me and he said, who says I'm out of Raw? Now, that shook me actually, the way he looked and he said it.
I got a photo also, by the way. He sent me
Correct. And the moment he said it, I clicked his picture of him and I sent it to him and I said, I think we got a story for our next book. And I said, imagine this is like, a 97-year-old person, this is like, still working and still doing that. So that's what I meant by
So
saying
that means we have to be very careful of what we tell you. So you'll make a story out of it. But hats off to you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Congratulations. And
Thank you.
no, I wanted to ask you, two writers, two thinkers, how does the magic happen and you come up with one book?
It starts with a lot of fights.
No, I want an elaborate answer, not a brief answer.
No, so basically it's, how should I put it? It's not that we come together and sit down and think of one particular story. As we travel through our lives, as it's like, we see various things, we come up with stories of our own or whatever, and then we make sure that we are meeting regularly, we sit down, I narrate whatever stories are in my mind to him, he narrates it, he narrates his part or whatever, and then from there we filter it and we say, I think we should work on these top 4-5 stories. And then it's called, it's like, a brainstorming session, we name it brainstorming session, wherein either it's in Mumbai or it's in Gurgaon in my place. We do it at home, preferably because then the wives can cook and feed us. And we brainstorm and then we put a wireframe together saying that this should, how the story should be. It's just like, and then we start saying that now let's see if, and most of the cases, like, we find that many of these things which we are seeing is all real stuff which is there. So then the research starts, we start going as like, and finding out more about that incident and about that instance and everything. And then slowly we start weaving it together. There are times as like, when he has a point of view, I have a point of view. He being in, closely related to Bollywood and everything, he brings the cinematic, visual part of it into it. I tend to, being a writer, I tend to, stick to a lot of facts into it. Then we have a share of, arguments and everything. A couple of days of not talking to each other, then we come back again. It's like
But the most difficult part is he's a morning person, I'm a night person. So that's a massive conflict we
That's
have.
the longer answer to that short question of yours.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, man. Thank you. That's a big blessing.
Hello, sir. I'm Sabrinathan from MCC, sir.
Yes.
So I just want to know about so as young writers, so we are all from like MCC, so I started like blogging, so I'm not yet to writing. So what are the tips and tricks for the young writers as well? So we can also promote our books, so publishing and as well as, so what you motivate our, like youngsters to do like this hidden agenda, so.
So I don't know what type of books you write, but I can tell you how I did it. My first rule was, we will write stories which we like writing. Just because thriller works or romance works, that's the new thing, fad. So we also start writing, we don't. So we will write stories which we feel genuinely passionate about and which comes from within. That is number one. Two, we feel if you want to be a good writer, write every single day. Correct. When I started, I was working, he was working, when we started writing. And then one fine day we looked at each other and we said that if this is the passion and this is what we want to do, then we can't be riding in one bus and trying to do something else. So we quit our jobs. Correct. I don't think it's just like, anybody's become rich writing books. But if you're really, really passionate about it, find one source wherein it is financial stability, I'm being very honest. But at the same time, you should write every single day and write anything, but write. And then store it, keep it, so that's later, as like instance, when you put it all together, you'll suddenly realize, oh my God, I can really write. The story is weaving through it or whatever. Then, of course, you have people like us who will help you. pick up the phone, give a call. It's like, I will leave my number here, both of us. We'll help you get your story edited, published, or whatever it is, because that's what our ambition is. So don't worry about it. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Sashi Kumar, Chairman, Asian School of Journalism, esteemed authors Ajit Menon and Anil Verma, distinguished guests, book enthusiasts, and I thank my dear friend Mr. Prem Menon from Anna's Entertainment and Shruti Publishers for inviting me today. It is an honor to be a part of this momentous occasion, celebrating the release of Hidden Agendas, the first installment of the groundbreaking True Vision series. Ajit and Anil, by creating shoot-ready stories, you are bridging the gap between literature and filmmaking, providing the industry with a treasure trove of adaptable screenplays. Your collaboration brings together the best of both worlds. Ajit's ranking among India's top 10 inspiring writers, and Anil's expertise as a renowned lyricist and storyteller. To both of you, I offer my heartfelt appreciation. As you may be aware, I'm here also as the consul for Spain in Chennai. So I thought I should speak something about Spain and the film industry connected with these books which will become films later. Many of you might have seen Spanish films which have now increased popularity on OTT. And not that I'm representing Spain, but the films are excellent. I would suggest you all have a look at it. Some of them are really good. And the difference is it's not the general type what you see in Hollywood. It is something out of the box thinking. You'll never know what is happening in the film unless you go through it in detail. And I'm sure Ajit and this Hidden Agendas, the story which they say is something it'll help the Spanish film industry. And if it's converted into Spanish, which you should do it because that's the second most spoken language in the world, you can not only sell it to Spain as well as all of South America, Venezuela, Colombia, everybody will go in for this. So on that front, I thought it'll help Hidden Agendas for the series, which I'm sure we can take it forward. You all can meet me and we'll get some of the directors. We're having next month, I think, a Spanish Film Festival organized by Mr. Shanmugam. I think he's here. And maybe some of the directors will come down and you can get to meet them. We have it every year. And we can move this forward. Ajit, you can do that. In conclusion, I congratulate Ajit Menon and Anil Verma on this remarkable achievement. Hidden Agenda is not just a book, it's a harbinger of a new era in Indian storytelling. Please join me in applauding the authors and their groundbreaking work. Thank you very much.
Distinguished chief guests, respected media friends, and everyone who have come today evening to grace this occasion, welcome. I know Ajit, for more than two decades. His storytelling part of his life is something which I've got to know in close quarters, recently. When I started dipping my hands into making movies, starting with Kerala Cafe in 2007, the basis with which I looked at the movies was the storyline, was the story that drove the movie forward. Kerala Cafe, was regarded as experimental in 2007. It is a portmanteau of 10 stories directed by the top 10 directors in Malayalam. Not many people were willing to give the movie a chance. But what struck me was the common theme in the 10 stories, which is the journey of life. And I decided to be a part of that project because it sort of appealed to me at a very deep level. The movie was very successful. It ran for 3 weeks in the theaters, which is generally regarded as success in movie terms. It then found life in YouTube, in Amrita TV, which had bought the satellite rights for it. And today, Kerala Cafe is regarded as a cult classic. Many people talk about Kerala Cafe. Many young directors say that Kerala Cafe has been a breakthrough movie for them, for them to start their careers, etc. And I feel very proud of it. My latest project is a Kannada movie called Venkia, and I'm very pleased to share with all of you that it has been selected for the Indian Panorama section of IFFI 2024. In fact, the global premiere of this movie is on Monday evening 4:30 in Panjim. And out of 365 movies that were selected for the Indian Panorama section, this is one of the 25 movies. In this list of 25, I think we have got other movies like Lapata Ladies, you have got Manjumal Boys from Malayalam, you have got Kalki from Telugu, etc. So it's again, when this story came to me, which is Venkia, the Kannada movie, a young director, Sagar Puranik, along with Pavan Vadiyar, who is one of the most iconic directors in Kannada movies. Again, what struck me was the story, and that story appealed to me. So that will then talk about the gap between 2007 and 2024, in terms of how I have been involved in on the movie space. And the point I'm trying to make, in this, August, occasion, in which, we have got these beautiful stories that Ajit and Anil, has, written. The basis for any movie, I feel, has to be the story. That is the soul of the, movie. And at least for me personally, the way I would go about participating in movies would be if the story appeals to me, in terms of my own, sensibilities. And what Ajit and Anil have done, right from even the first set of books, the Panther series, and now of course, Hidden Agenda is this laser focus, that they have on stories that touch each of us. And I feel that translates well into the visual, medium. And I feel, that, if you look at something like, Hidden Agendas, I can actually see how well it is going to come out when that, when that transformation happens and when it becomes, something that we can see, on the screen. I am incredibly, happy that, Ajit and Anil have made, have allowed me to be a part of this, this journey. It fills me with pride that, I've got access, to their huge brains, that is churning out, lovely, stuff like this. I think that, this is the beginning of something which is going to touch all of us, as we go forward. So, best of luck, Ajit, and best of luck, Anil. And well, that's it from my side. Yeah, so I'm a part of ANAR, and I thank all of you for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Natalia, for the kind words. A very good evening to one and all here, ladies and gentlemen. It's on behalf of Shrishti Publishers and ANAR Creations. It's my pleasure to welcome you all this evening. We have chief guest here, Mr. Shashi Kumar, welcome, sir. Mr. Anthony Lobo, the special guest of the evening, the Consul General for Spain. We have Mr. Ram Kumar Ganeshan of Shivaji Productions, Mr. Balaji Kumar, and we have Balaji Murthy, the president of Ramco. We have director Priya. Welcome, Priya. I hope if I missed out anybody, please forgive me. I have Mr. Banu Chanda, actor Banu Chanda here. Welcome, Banu. And ladies and gentlemen, we have assembled here for the launch of our book, Hidden Agendas. Hidden Agendas is the first book of the part of the True Vision series. Totally, there'll be 6 books in all. And what's the beauty about this book is that each book will contain 4 short stories. And each short story is written in a screenplay format, which I feel it's a big boon for directors as well as producers. These stories can be made in any languages, and it can be tailor-made to suit the needs of that particular region. So that way, this book is, I think it's a big boon for, I think it's dedicated to the film industry. Now, how this book came about being was that, when Anar Creations was, when we started Anar Creations, we scouted for stories, and we got a lot of stories, good stories, but somehow there was the connect was not there to make it a good film, nor for an OTT platform. That's when we decided that we have so much of talent within, and we decided that we will write our own stories. And Ajit and Anil got into the act, and here we are with the first book. As far as Anar is concerned, we will produce some of these stories, and we will co-produce some of these stories. And we are more than happy to share these stories with the rest of the stories with other producers or directors who seem who like these stories. I'm sure Shrishti publishers, unless they would have seen value in these stories, they would not have come forward to publish all the 6 books. So to tell you more about these books and the stories and the logic and the way forward, I'll leave it to the authors. So once again, welcome to one and all. Have a pleasant evening, and I do really hope that you enjoy reading our stories. Thank you very much.